What's going on, YouTube community? This is Stang Dad GT here. Just doing some before videos. I'm about to pick up an LED conversion kit from Diode Dynamics. They're local to me, about 10-15 minutes away. So I'm going to go later today. But I did want to show you the interior of the car with the stock lights. They're halogen, which most of you know because you have Mustangs. But I just wanted to show you the difference, not only in the actual light output, but honestly just how much better it looks. I was always confused a little bit why Ford did some of the things they do. For instance, they have LED headlights, LED turn signal, LED taillights. Then they had a halogen reverse light. Then when you go to the interior, you have the My Color mode where you can change all the options of ambient lighting, primary colors, and things like that. Yet your map lights are halogen, so that didn't make really total sense to me. Even the lights on like the mirrors, those are halogen as well. And I think overall everything would just look better as an LED and a nice bright white. Not to mention I have kids, and there's no dome light in for the rear seat. I mean, obviously it's it's a coupe or a fastback. It's not a sedan. But I can tell you, I have a black car seat, and at nighttime it's actually really difficult to see the seatbelt for buckling my kid into his seat. So I think also I might see some function out of these LEDs other than it just being aesthetic. So I'm going to take you out into the garage here, and you can take a look at it. So it's going to get dark here in just a minute, just because I'm going to turn the light off as we walk up to the car. So I know most of you have seen what the inside of a Mustang looks. So mainly, some of the lights I'm really paying attention to are these two map lights here. I'm really hoping to get a lot of extra light out of them, going with like the brighter kit that is offered from Diode Dynamics. But if you take a look in the back, you can't see anything because it is pitch black. So I'm really hoping that I can get some extra light out of these LEDs that I'm getting from Diode. I'm not 100% sure in the glove box here, or the armrest, sorry, there is an LED light I think already in here, so I don't know if they include that in the kit or not. I'll have to let you know. If they do, then I'll get a white one rather than this soft yellow. And I believe it also comes with an LED light for inside the glove box as well, so we'll get some improved lighting from there. Now the trunk, I'm going to go ahead and turn the overhead light on. Do one more shot of inside the car. Again, there's just not a lot of light in there. In the trunk, however, I do believe there's already, kind of like in the armrest, there is an LED overhead light already in it. Oops, sorry, that's bright right there. This actually gives pretty good light. So again, I don't know if, I'd have to go back and look to see if the Diode Dynamics kit includes that. I'm not too concerned because I think it gives off good light. It's just fine. But definitely for the inside of the car, I'm looking for the white light because it just looks better in my opinion. Some people do blue and different colors, but I really want more. I want it brighter. I really need to be able to see a little bit better in the back. If I can't, well then I may look at doing some custom LED, light bar at the top or something. Make it nice and hidden, but something where I can get some light in the back when the overlights go on. And I don't think it would be that difficult. But stay tuned to see. You guys, just got back not too long ago with the Diode Dynamics LED kit. I was just doing a little bit of research on how to do the map lights. It looks like you have to pull the whole housing down. So I was messing with that a little bit before I got on here, because I've seen some people with some problems with that. But before, let me show you what we have. We have our interior kit. I did a white stage 2, meaning it's the white color with their brightest, and then I also have the brightest backup bulb you can get. I think it's 510 lumens. So right now what I've done is kind of pried this down a little bit. without breaking it. I pulled it as much as I could so that you could see in there. It's kind of hard, but you can tell on the right side and the left side here, there's these two metal tabs, right? And those things are in there really hard. And I've heard a lot of people breaking them, and I don't want that happening on mine. So what I happened to find was if you pull it down evenly from both sides, it kind of eventually wiggles free. And then what you can do is kind of wedge a screwdriver or a really small flathead in there like I've done. And I'm going to try and show this the best I can. But that metal tab right there on the right, I know the flathead's falling out. That's what's stuck in there. You can actually take the flathead and kind of squeeze that a little bit to loosen it up so that the entire housing falls down. So I'm going to actually just turn off the camera and keep working on that. I don't have great light in here. I'm holding a little flashlight in my hand. So I'm sure if I set the camera down somewhere, probably wouldn't be the greatest view. I'll see if I can figure something out so you guys can see. And I'm in my garage, so the lighting in here is not great. So let me double check if I can get this set up and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm not really able to get the camera set up in a good spot. Sorry about that. Still haven't quite gotten it down. I've loosened it up some more. So what I'm actually going to try and do is take pliers here and squeeze those tabs. Again, let me see if I can get a good view in here. So all the way to the right, there's a black tab, kind of metal tab going into this off-white kind of clip, and then there's a piece of plastic from the map housing that the metal tab's on, and that's what I hear breaks a lot. So I'm really trying not to break it. So I'm going to see if I can squeeze that tab out here and get this to come down. The whole idea with this is always to apply even pressure on both sides. Because if you pull down one side and at one time, you might have to use some brute force. It may jerk the other side and break it. So just trying to be really careful. I'd rather not install them than break something. So stay tuned. Pretty well the driver's side, so I just wanted to get a good view of that. I was able to get my pliers in there and squeeze that together, and it really came out of that yellow holder. So I'm going to try and get the other side right now. Trying to hold a flashlight, camera, and pull this down. It's quite difficult. Sometimes I'll put the flashlight in my mouth, but then I can't talk to you guys. So stay tuned. I'll try and clip this together best I can so you guys can see really how to take this apart. So again, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, so I got it down. I kind of pulled the driver's side out. It came out first, and I don't think I broke this tab here, thankfully. But the plastic that metal tab goes around, I've seen several people post pictures of it broken. And here's the yellow plastic that it's clipping into. It's just a really tight fit. Anyway, hopefully I can get it back in there so this thing doesn't rattle. It's nice and tight up there. If not, I'll just ask the dealer maybe to help me out a little bit. So what you're going to do from here is, so I'm using my flashlight to point. This little guy here is one light. That little guy, this is not working out. Excuse me. Okay. So we have a light here and a light there. So you'll pull those out, switch out the bulb, put the LED in. Again, the LEDs are polar specific, so you can put them in one way. If they don't line up, just flip them the other way, and then you'll be good to go. So I will go ahead and flip those around and try and reinstall this, and then show you what it looks like. Okay, I wanted to make another quick comment here. I did get them installed in there, as you can see. Nice white light. These clips, as you've pulled them out, they kind of come a little bit loose from the black plastic. They like slide up on it, so you just want to make sure you push those down as far as they can go. I think that will help get much more of a flush fit onto the header here, because it was definitely really tight on the header. My fingers are killing me from prying that down. Whoever thought changing out map lights would be so difficult. Anyway, I'm gonna push this back up and stay tuned. So I got it back up here. I don't think it's as tight. I mean, there's maybe a little wiggle. Sorry, I'm trying to blind you guys, but show here a little. Probably not as tight as it was when I picked up the car last week, but as long as it doesn't rattle, I think it's fine. Now working with this little light I have here, by the way, this is from Harbor Freight, a couple bucks. It's nice, has a magnet on the end. But what I've realized is in the headliner here, and I don't know if you can really see it with the camera. I think I can in my viewfinder, but I'm not sure if it'll show up. It looks like there's actually little specks of glitter almost built into the liner. Pretty cool, I think, in my opinion. It's small enough that it's not necessarily like my little girl's glitter, but it's subtle enough that it just kind of adds a little bit of extra finesse to it. So I think it's pretty cool. Let's see if I can just kind of show you going around here. And I don't know if a specific light will pick it up better, but I thought it was pretty cool personally. So I'm going to work on getting these, excuse me, let me open the door so these go on. There we go. These nasty lights turned from yellow to white, and you can see the dome lights there. So I'm going to work on changing these, glove box, and then we'll be done. For these, according to the video, you need to get a small either pry tool or flathead and pry this to the left towards the inside. And there's 2 screws here that you can actually pry the whole housing out so you can better get access to the bulb. It's not required, it just makes it easier to get access to the bulb. It's only 2 Phillips heads, no big deal, no wiring to mess with. And then after I do that, I'll show you the glove box. It's just a matter of getting at the right angle to the glove box to get up to the light. And as I mentioned in one of the previous video, the before video, you know, the center console has an LED and the trunk has an LED. Those stay as is, they aren't replaceable, which I think is fine. They give off plenty of light. First of all, most center consoles don't even have an LED in it, so the fact that it has one is nice. And then the one in the trunk gives you plenty of light, and I think it's just fine. So I will keep on working. When you do pull this off, there are 3 tabs on the top. You want to kind of right here, here, and here. You just take a smaller flathead and pull each tab off, and this will come right off. You want to do it with it closed. And then you can access the lights here. Obviously I already have the LEDs in. Now the other question is, okay, since LEDs are, you know, polar specific, how do you know if it's working? So right in the middle here there is a little metal lever here that pushes down onto the light switch. So you just pull that down, and if they light up, then you're good. If they don't, then you need to switch them. So once you double check that, then you can go ahead and put the vanity back in, the mirror. And like I said here, there's a screw right here. Sorry, my arm's in the way. And a screw right over there. And that's all it takes, just a Phillips screw to put that back in. When you do install this back in, I can probably do it one-handed here. You want to put the bottom in first. And this top just snaps right in. Alrighty, so we have the vanity lights in, the map lights in, the other vanity lights in. Overall, the vanity lights are pretty simple. Took me less than 5 minutes to do both sides. This was a little bit more tricky. I probably spent at least 20 minutes just on this one because I'm just trying to be overly cautious. Obviously no one ever wants to mess up anything on their car. But I really wanted to make sure that I did it right. And you know, again, this thing is a little wobbly, but you know, the key is as long as it's not rattling, I don't think it's going to rattle at all. But it's you know, fingers are a little sore from it. The next, I have not done it yet, would be our light in here, which is up top there. So I'm gonna have to get a kind of at an awkward angle here to get up to that. So let me go ahead and start on that, and I'll you know, I'll chime in with a little video here if I can show you anything to help make this easier. Okay, to get to the glove box light, the easiest thing to do is lower the glove box down. So there's a couple things. There's these little rubber ends right here. One goes right here, and the other one right there. And then there's this little guy right here that is normally clipped into the small hole. You just slide it to the big hole and it pops right out, and this lowers down.
If you have a bunch of stuff in your glove box, you might want to take it out first, otherwise it's going to all completely fall. And then you can get a nice good view up here. There's actually no cover for this, so you may need some sort of pry tool. You want to be careful with pliers, maybe pliers with like a tissue or something, because it could be hot and you don't want to break it, and you're just going to have to pull it out. This one was surprisingly at an awkward angle. Getting in here was between getting your body into that angle and getting the light in. It wasn't the most comfortable. It was easy to do, but it definitely looks a lot better. Put the glove box together. You know, we'll clip that back into the hole there. These two things you just kind of pull in here to get those in, and then I'll do a quick view of what the glove box looks like. Okay, and we have the glove box in. Looks nice, crisp and white. I think the white look gives a much higher end look as well. I know there's a lot of cars now that all have LEDs all over the place, even your Hyundais and Sonatas that you consider kind of not your luxury cars, but I still think it gives that better luxury look as well as giving you better light output overall. So the last thing to do would be reverse bulb. So let me clean up inside here and go ahead and get this installed. I think it's going to be pretty easy. I know it's a little wet outside, so that might be the worst part, is that I'm going to get a little bit wet, but I just want to get this project done and be done with the mods for today. Try to finish the last mod here for the reverse light. So we're going to take another car here. You can see there's kind of like for the rear valance here, but then there's an opening right here. You can kind of just wedge your hand back, feel for the bulb, twist it out, and replace it. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and that should be it. This should be a pretty simple one. I think the most difficult part is there is no one here right now, is making sure that I have the bulb in the correct way. I think that should be probably the more difficult part. Otherwise, I think it's pretty straightforward, and there's a lot of benefits to it, of a lot more rear light for reversing, as well as it's going to look way better. You know, it already has stock LED license plates, LED signals, so I think overall it's just going to look a lot better and really kind of finish off the look of the car. About, I don't know, 2 minutes, what I ended up doing was setting my phone down with the camera facing up and took a video and just threw it in reverse, threw it in park, and watched the video back to see if it was working. So let me show you, at least right now during the day, what the light looks like, and then I'll do the night comparison to show what it looks like in my garage, like I did on the before. Just want to do a quick before and after video. I know I am planning on getting some LEDs for the car interior, as well as the reverse light. So it's nighttime here, back to my garage. I kind of wanted to do a before and after of what it looks like, just so you guys can see the difference, and I'll show all the different products that I purchased. It's all from Diode Dynamics. I'm actually local to them. So let me set up the camera here, facing the car first, and I'll turn off the overhead light. So I'll face the reverse light so you can see kind of the brightness, and then I'll also move the camera to show behind the car how much the light is different. Just to keep in mind as well, in a previous video, I'm not sure if you saw it, I did take the car to get tinted, and I did put a very light tint over the reverse light, just so it's not as clear. Turn on my phone light just to show you a little bit. So there is just a slight tint over it, not a lot, enough to make it nice and sleek looking and not so chromy, but not too dark to the point that you're really just not going to get any light put out of it. I use that same tint on the front fog and turn signals. So let's go ahead, set you up right here.
trying to get it so that the brake lights weren't on, because the brake lights are really bright, even though they're tinted as well. I didn't want them to kind of over contrast the reverse lights. So I did the best I could there. I'm going to try it again, but now we're going to face the back of the garage so you can see what type of light it's putting out. I think that's about the best I can do right now. Hopefully that turns out pretty good for you guys, so you can see. I know there's probably plenty of videos and some shots on Diode Dynamics, but I still want to show everything I'm doing, things to compare, just so everyone can kind of decide if they want to do any of these mods themselves. Once I get the LED bulb and install it, I'll have a video on installing it, and when it gets to be nighttime again, I'll go ahead and do a similar shot showing how bright it is looking at it and how bright it is behind it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Got a chance to pull the back of the car in again at nighttime here after changing out to the Diode Dynamics reverse LED bulb. So I did do, I forget what the model number is, but it was the brightest one. It's like the HP something. It's 510 lumens. It is pretty bright. Definitely gives some good light off on the back. I haven't been able to see it in person just because I'm always driving the car. But I was going to go ahead and set the camera up and kind of do what I did for the pre-shot and just kind of show what it looks like, as well as what it's going to look like, how well it lights behind it. So let me set up the camera here and then do the thing, and then I'll grab the camera and I'll face it the other direction to see how far back it's lighting behind the car as well. So I'm going to set it down and turn the light off. So I think I got a good shot of that there. Luckily my driveway is a little bit of a hill, so I can kind of chill in the same spot in neutral and let go of the brake. So let me flip it around here and face the opposite direction. Let's see if we can tell how well it lights up. Alright, I'll do my best to cut and edit, or as you're seeing this, I hope my cutting and editing was okay for this. There's a lot of videos before and afters over the span of a couple days. And there you have it. Finished all the LED mods for now. I do need to check, you know, you can tell it's still light out. I can definitely see that these give off some good light in here, but it's still pretty dang dark back here. And you know, my son's seatbelt, let me grab my flashlight here for you. It's really at an awkward angle. Sitting okay right now, but sometimes when he's in the seat, it's really hard. The seat doesn't move all that well. He's a big boy for 5 years old. He's almost 60 pounds. So, I mean, we could look at, you know, mounting something like a strip right here. Actually, that'd be almost a perfect spot. You can just run it through the headlight, or sorry, through the headliner, straight into those map lights. And that will give a ton of light back there, as well as functionality for someone like me. I do have a daughter too. She's a little bit more self-sufficient. She's 9. She can get in and out and buckle herself. But I think it might help both of them to have a light back there. And even if I could put it on its own switch, you know, if they needed the light for some reason when they were back there, I think it might be helpful. So things to think about. I'll probably look at something from like Diode Dynamics. I really like to use them. I've worked with the owner as using parts since he was working out of his parents' house. I've had many of my cars up on the website for pictures and things like that. So they are not a sponsor of mine or anything like that, but I'm a big advocate of them. So I'll continue to buy their products, as well as the retrofit source. I do use them as well. But for LED mods, I'm really liking Diode. Plus, I can save on shipping because I can drive 10 minutes there. Anyway, thank you for tuning in and looking at this. Again, there's always more to come.
Might slow down for just a minute now. I got some of the main things done I wanted to do after buying the car. But there's definitely more to come, and I hope everyone takes it easy. Peace out.
Hey, Mustang GT here. I just wanted to do a quick install video because we got something new today. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get a nice cold start in. So we got a few goodies here that we picked up off a fellow member with an S550. We've got the Diode Dynamics brake sequencers. For those of you who aren't familiar with what this does, basically anytime you unlock the car, things like that, it will do the sequential turn signal rather than just when you do your blinkers. Also, Diode Dynamics products would be our smoked rear side markers. These were just mods I was waiting to do maybe a little bit later, but found a good deal on them, so I went ahead and picked them up. I'm going to try and do a quick install video here today. I have to go take that car. It's a 2002 Mitsubishi Eclipse. It's actually our oldest son's car. I need to take it to a buddy. He's actually replacing the transmission on it, luckily for no cost. But yeah, we got to go drive that about an hour away to get that fixed. So I'm trying to get these installed here in the next 30 minutes while my wife gets ready, because I am just really not patient on installing parts. So let me go ahead and pull the car out and see if I can get this done. It's about 33, 34 degrees out right now. As you can see, there's a little bit of snow. We got some ice last night. I think it's melted for the most part. So hopefully this my hands won't freeze to death on this one. Alright guys, so it's a little wet out here. Put a towel down. So basically I'm going to kind of lie on my back, put my hand up underneath here. There's a clip on this side that you need to push out. Obviously there's a bulb in here where you just need to twist and pull that out. And then this should pop right out. So let me get under there, and I'll try and get the camera off the tripod here later and get a video underneath there, kind of what it looks like. But I just took a quick look. It looks pretty simple. It's just kind of an awkward angle, and it sucks that it's wet, so I did the top. So Diode marks these right hand, left hand. If you weren't really sure, the other thing you could do is just match them up like this and you'll be able to tell. So we are pull the bulb out. Put this guy in. Dummy me, I had the wrong one. And again, these are polar specific. So before you really fully install it back in, you'll want to test it. Let's see if it works by just unlocking the car. Oh, there we go. You can see it lit up. All I had to do was hit the unlock. Perfect. Nice and simple. So I was doing the other side. Passenger side, I realized I forgot to actually tighten the bulb holder into the housing. So I'm going to pop it back out and show you the best thing to do. It's pretty simple. Not a big deal. Just glad I realized that. Otherwise there would have been moisture getting into it. So what you want to do, push this clip here, take the whole housing out. This way you can put it in and tighten it. Very tight fit. And install it back in. We're going to take this in and slide it on here. Push it all the way in. Push this in. And it's done. This video we're going to install the sequencers. So we need to get to the back of the taillights. So I'm going to try to set
this up actually in the trunk so you can kind of see where we're working. But basically, it looks like we're going to need to remove this and pull one of these tabs out just to get access to our hands. I don't think we have to remove everything. Sorry, the lighting's probably not all that great right now in there. I just need to be able to get in there with my hands. I think it should be pretty simple to do. So I'm going to see if I can go ahead and set this up on a little tripod I have. Just give me a second and hope the lighting is okay. Alright, I think that should be okay. All the way down, kind of back at the bottom of the light is I think where our connector is. So let me put this stuff down and see if I can get those installed. So there we go. It's pretty simple. We've got OEM connector up here and an OEM connector down there with the Diode Dynamics sequencer in the middle. So let's take a quick look, see what happens when I unlock it. Oh, and we have a little bit of snow falling. Yep. So if we look at it, if we look at the passenger side, it just lights up. But if we look at the driver's side, it does the sequencer. So I'm going to do the other side. I do have the B&O sound system that has the sub over here. I'm hoping that I don't have to unscrew all this to get into there, so I'm going to try and wedge my hand in it. So hopefully this side doesn't prove to be a little bit more difficult, because I have to leave soon and I don't really have the time to do it, and I already have one side installed, so wish me luck. There are only 3 half-inch bolts that were holding that in, and it actually slid right out really easily. It's like an entire casing. And now when I pull this back, okay, so there's this metal piece here that's actually still on the way. You kind of have to reach around, so I'm going to put the camera down, kind of awkward. So for this one, I had to reach around this big metal piece, and it's actually easier not to pull the whole tab out and just pull the connector and then connect it and plug it back in. Okay, I think I got it plugged in, so let's take a look. There we go. So for the driver's side, I give that like a, I don't know, 2 out of 10 difficulty. For the passenger side, because of the sub, I'd give that, I don't know, 5 or 6 out of 10. It's just kind of some weird angles, but it's not terribly difficult overall. I think anyone would be able to do that. And it's a pretty cool aesthetic mod. It just adds a little bit of finesse to the car. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and don't know what mods are to come right now. I think I might take a break. Did a lot here within the 2 weeks of owning the car, so I need to build up some money for some bigger mods, maybe some performance mods, but I'll work on the videos coming, more content, and whatever you guys are maybe looking for the car, I'm definitely open to. So thanks guys, peace out.